because everyone knows that federal penitentiaries are better than this, and everybody knows that a detention center is better than this. And, I could even wear my own clothes when I was at Saskatoon Correctional. Here you have to wear those red uniforms all the time, those red jumpsuit things, and, so it's challenging.
Mark, you were telling me last time as well that it was close to 2 weeks since they changed your bed linen.
No, I got some today, though, although I almost wondered if I was going to get some, because just as I was about to get my bed linens, the brawl broke out beside me, and everybody was ordered locked down for a while, so I thought, geez, am I really not going to, it'll be only my second change of linen in 16 days. So I did get some clean linen today, so that's the second change of linen I've had in 16 days, so that was nice. Because, I keep myself clean. I have a shower and what have you, and I wear a shirt because it's very cold in our cell at night. So there is no way you can be like thinly dressed underneath the one sheet. You just get one sheet and you get one blanket, and it's not enough, especially with the chilly air outside, and the recirculated air they pump into our room is very cold. So I often have to wear as much clothing as I have, and maybe an extra t-shirt you can snag somewhere and what have you. But the bed linen, it gets changed only once a week. So, and it's just one little thin sheet on top of a very thin mattress. It's very uncomfortable, and inside a metal bunk.
Wow, crazy. Mark, we have a lot of people commenting on certain things on your blog posts and stuff there, and a lot of them are wondering about how you're doing without smoking pot in jail.
Well, I don't miss that at all. That doesn't really factor into it. I'm obsessively concerned about the terrible food here. I would do anything for better food. I get a job. I would do things. It's all about food more than anything else. And then after that, it's reading material. Getting enough reading material. Even getting letters from friends. It takes so long for any kind of letter to get to me. Maybe people are sending letters, but I've gotten almost none. I've got 3 out of the 6 letters I've received are from fellow prisoners in the prison system throughout the Lower Mainland, right? And so it's mostly correspondence. That's really important. I've had a couple of visits, and I'm not sure I need visitors or anything like that. I like to see Jody as much as possible, but she can only visit me once a week on Sundays because it takes 4 or 5 hours to get here and back to visit me from the city, and that's not.
You have 1 minute left to talk.
And that's not something she can reasonably afford to do. So.
Right.
I'm not concerned with marijuana. I haven't thought about it for a second, other in the theoretical sense, because I'm reading the book by Mason DeVere called "Marijuana is Safer Than Why Are We Driving People to Drink." And now, I've only got a minute, so why don't I just give you a quick call back, and we can wrap this up.
If you do not wish to accept this call, please hang up now. To accept the call, press 0. Thank you for using TELUS. Go ahead with your call.
Back for part 2.
Hey, Mark. Well, Mark, I was going to ask you about interactions with prisoners. Now, you said that people have been coming to visit you and that kind of stuff and talking to you. Can you tell me anything more about any of the people that you've met there?
Well, they're all very nice to me. And sometimes the challenging thing is when they have me captive, like in their cell, like I'm a cellmate of them, or out in the open, they tend to want to talk to me a lot, and they have lots to say because there's not really anybody else in a lot of ways worthwhile having a conversation with from their perspective. And so I patiently listen to everybody, and I try and be helpful to them. But what you learn when you're in here is that you could learn how to do lots of crime. Young people shouldn't be exposed to those kind of things, right? And yet here, that's the only thing people can really talk about in some way. And they confess in a lot of ways to me. I don't even understand it because, they're awaiting trial. It's not even safe to be talking about the things they did. I don't mind talking about things I did because I just say, I sold seeds and I leave it at that. And, I have a movie about me they can watch, so they can find all that out on television, right? And things like that. So I don't tend to tell people about what I did because, everybody knows that. But, people can learn too much about criminal activities here. They also are exposed to mentally ill people and emotionally ill people and people with problems. And, and it's such an adverse environment here that it creates an environment of desperation and you can lose your mind and stuff like that. So, all the inmates are fine to me. I've never felt threatened in any jail or institution, and my audience needs to be reminded now that I've been arrested like 24 times for pot, and this is actually, right now, I'm going through my 19th, jailing for marijuana since my career began, and that's just for marijuana. That doesn't include the times I went to jail for Sunday shopping and all the other civil disobedience I've done. So I've been in lots of jails, and everywhere I go, it's kind of the same. People want to talk to me, and they want to be friendly, and they want to learn about me and pick my brain. And a lot of people here ask me about their business plans, and I'm happy to tell people about good, honest business plans, things they could do when they get out. And I sometimes counsel them on their relationships and their children, and they tell me everything about their lives, and I eventually try and give them good, sound advice and keep them away from a path of badness and self-destructiveness, which many of them have. And a lot of these people never had a father in their life. I mean, every last one of them, who are drug addicted or came in here with drug problems. It's the same old story. Their father wasn't around in their life. They were adrift. They were angry as a teenager, and they were involved with bad people and bad situations and stuff. And I try and be constructive with them and get them to examine their past, and hopefully encourage them to adopt a crime-free or a sort of like self-destruction-free lifestyle. But these people are going to need a lot of work, and they need the kind of nuanced assistance that you're never going to find in this institution. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm. Mark, you were saying that the guards treat you pretty well there, but how do the guards treat other prisoners?
Well, they're mostly, like, for example, right now there's a guy, most of them are fine, but sometimes they get a little caught up in the rules, and the rules can be very, very stringent, like me last night getting punished. I mean, I didn't tell these people to come and see me. They just wander over to my door, and they didn't even necessarily come in my door. But the thing is, it's because if they're here to talk to me, I'm the common denominator, then therefore I get punished, right, for being the attraction that makes them want to break the rules, right? And that can create some tension, because the fellow who got me in trouble last night, I'm his cellmate now, and he was really apologetic for it. He just felt really bad. He knew I was distressed about being moved around a fifth time to a new cell, and ultimately being moved in the cell of the person that created the problem for me. But he's a nice fellow, James, and he means well. And I'm learning a lot about his life and his daughter and his life in the Canadian military. And I hear from lots of people in jails, and I hear from a lot of ex-military people. I got a letter from a soldier in the United States who just got out of the military, and he said he's been totally lost all faith in the U.S. government as a consequence of being in the military, and he realizes that that's just revealed to him what a fraud the democracy is in the United States and how bad the United States is, by his participation in the military. So I tend to hear a lot from fellow prisoners who want to write me and encourage me to write them back, but my time is limited to write all these people back, right? But they would love a response, and they always say, I would love to get a letter from the great Marc Emery if it's possible. And so there's 5 minutes to lock up, so I've got to leave now, but I will call up maybe in a couple of days, and we'll do yet another blog.
Okay, Mark, it sounds good. We'll talk to you soon.
Okay, Jeremiah, we'll say I hope everyone will be able to take an opportunity to write me here or when I get transferred to the United States. I'd love people's letters and photographs. Remember, no Post-it notes, staples, or paper clips. It just has to be photographs and photocopies and straight-lined paper with writing on it or drawings. Those are all fine. And I will be glad to receive them here, and I know they can get the address from the website. And don't forget to buy a free Mark T-shirt and protest in front of your Member of Parliament's office, because that's the only way we're going to change these laws. And bye, Jeremiah, and I will talk with everyone in a couple of days. Okay, bye.
Little lies, he got caught. The whole world knows he's the Prince of Pot. He's the Prince of Pot. He's the Prince of Pot.